Alright guys, what's up? We have some brand new content today. I'm doing some YGOPRO videos on cards that are coming out. I was actually asked to do this in a comment. This card is really good. It's the Dragon Cycle of Celestial Illusions. This is all new Tenyi card, but fortunately it actually does work in Phantasm Spirals, which is one of my all-time favorite decks. This was kind of one of the decks that I did very well competitively with when I first got back into the game. It's a very powerful deck. It's frustrating that if a lot of the cards that used to make this deck a fairly good option have gotten hit. Stuff like Metaverse, stuff like Terraforming have just been limited. A few other cards, unfortunately, have gotten hit and made this deck a lot worse than it used to be. But fortunately, we finally got something back. After all these ban lists, everything getting hit, Card Demise getting hit, Terraforming getting hit, Metaverse getting hit, we finally got something back in the form of this Dragon Celestial, this Dragon Cycle card. Basically, this card is intended for Tenyis, but we can use it in Phantasm Spirals because its basic effect is you contribute one worm monster and then add a worm monster from your deck to your hand, or if you tributed a non-effect monster, you can special summon it, but its effects are negated. So let's break that first effect down. Really good effect for this deck because you contribute your token, because it is tribute, it's not sent to grave. You can tribute a token. You can tribute the token and then basically summon any of these monsters out of your deck for free, and one of them being, of course, the Phantasm Spiral Dragon. So that effect is really good. Obviously, effects are negated, but they're non-effect monsters, so it doesn't matter. But basically, it's also quick play, so you can do this in battle phase and just continue attacking if you need to. It does a lot of good stuff for the deck because sometimes during your opponent's turn, during their end phase, during your, like, let's say you have a token on board and they say end phase, you can activate this, tribute the token, special summon, I don't know, the Phantasm Spiral Dragon, then search with the field spell, and then when it's your turn, you can banish this from the graveyard, and then for its second effect, you can actually search any Tenyi card. So if you control a non-effect monster, you can search any Tenyi card in the entire game, like the entire Tenyi archetype. And the best ones to search, of course, are Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi and the Flawless Perfection, which is it's their field spell every single time first of all non-effect monsters are unaffected by monster effects, and then on top of that, every single time your opponent special summons once per turn, you can draw 2 cards, which is an awesome effect. And if you have multiple copies of this that you can put up during your opponent's turn, you can actually, draw multiple times. But yeah, it's a very good card. But this is overall the deck. Let's go through the build real quick. 1 Phantasm Spiral Dragon, 3 Mystery Shell Dragon. These are the reason I play these over the Megalo Smasher because they are worms, and they just have more consistency with this card. In addition to that, we play 2 Ash Blossoms. This is the end of our monsters here. Ash Blossom is actually it's always been very good in this deck, like scary good, because it's very good with the field spell, because your opponent, like, let's say they activate, I don't know, Pot of Desires, and then you Ash the Pot of Desires, they already activated, because Ash doesn't negate activations, it only negates the effect. They activated the effect, so you can still summon a token and then still get a search, even if you Ash their card. So it's always been really good in the deck. The reason you never played it was because you were playing, typically, at least I was playing Card of Demise in the deck, so I never got to play standard hand traps, but we don't need to do this anymore. We have 3 Pot of Extravagance. As you can see here, our extra deck is pretty much useless anyway. I very rare. I think in all of the replays that I have after this video, I think I went into the extra deck 1 time, but it's basically useless. Then we play 1 copy of Terraforming, 1 set rotation, 3 copies of the all-new Celestial Dragon. Like I said, this card is because this is a slow deck, this card will actually get to resolve its +2 over and over and over, because you'll get to get rid of your token, then summon another token when your opponent activates another card, and then on top of that, the next turn you can just search for the counter trap, and that's basically wraps it up. We play 1 Phantasm Spiral Grip. This is sort of a controversial one. You don't have to play this because you can obviously summon the Phantasm Spiral Dragon a lot easier. Now, you don't have to play this. I actually like this for the OTKs, but you can easily sub this out for a Pot of Duality or a Card of Demise, just a single copy of Card of Demise. That way, if you don't see the Pot of Extravagance, you can use your 1 Card of Demise. Or, like I said, there's plenty of other cards. You can put a 3rd Ash, maybe another hand trap. There's a lot. This is the 1 card in here that I'm like, iffy about. Or you could play another Waterfall. It's up to you. Definitely 3 field spell. This card's insane. It's one of the best field spells ever printed. It's very fair. Like, it has a lot of limitations, But it's as long as you follow those limitations, it's pretty broken. Like I said, this one, draw 2 cards if your opponent special summons once per turn, not a hard once per turn. Mystic Mine is the best field spell, the best overall. Like, this is a very good field spell, but this is probably the best field spell made in a very long time. So we definitely play that. 2 impermanents. The reason we play 2 is, again, I like the 4 hand traps. You have enough to interrupt, but not to clog your own engine. 2 waterfall, 3 grip, 1 power. It's searchable and it's decent, I'd say. It's not as good as impermanence because you can't activate it on your turn too, but it's still good. Metaverse, Sea Stealth Attack. This card is amazing. It was intended for Mako Tsunami and it busts the deck completely. This is one of your only ways that you can beat stuff like True Dracos because you don't really have a lot of outs to their deck. If you have this, you can easily beat True Dracos. Without it, it's going to be tough. Then we play some of the best floodgates in the game. They're both limited to 1. You can afford the space, it's okay. So we got Macrocosmos. It doesn't matter what gets banished. The only card you don't want to get banished is this. Other than that, it really doesn't matter what gets banished, almost completely, because you're gonna, it really it's kind of, it really doesn't matter what you banish. None of these monsters matter as long as you have the field spell on. You don't really care. Skill Drain, obviously, all non-effect monsters. Rivalry, which is I can't play There Can Only Be One, unfortunately, because of Mystery Shell Dragon and Phantasm Spiral Dragon and the token all being worms, so we actually can't play There Can Only Be One. So you can actually sub this out. There's certain matchups where this is a very bad card, and there's certain matchups where, especially in Master Rule 5, your opponent will, like, let's say you have the field spell up and your opponent knows, okay, I got to get rid of that field spell, otherwise we're going to have a problem. So they'll make they'll be playing, for example, a Cyberse deck. They'll be playing, let's say they're playing Adagnister's Master Rule 5. They'll go into a Nightmare Phoenix, and that is not a part of their Cyberse archetype. So they'll go into that in order to get rid of the pacifis, and then you just flip the rivalry, and now they're stuck into this one monster. And they have to end their turn, and it effectively just kind of locks them into that one monster, and they really can't get rid of it. They have to keep setting stuff. It kind of kills them. So it is good even in matchups where it would be seemingly bad if you know how to play it right. And then we've got 3 basically Solemn Judgments. It can negate a monster spell or trap as long as you control a non-effect monster, which the token is, and so is the Mystery Shell Dragon, Phantasm Spiral. And in addition to that, if this card is set and it's destroyed, you can summon a non-effect monster from your extra deck, which can be a Blue Eyes Ultimate or the Sea Monster Theseus. And if you are feeling up to it, if this, like I said, you almost never go in the extra deck anyway, but if you're feeling up to it, if this gets popped, you can summon Sea Monster Theseus and then use this and a Mystery Shell Dragon to summon Azure Eyes, and the next standby phase special summon back the Mystery Shell Dragon, because there's a bit of synergy there. And then we've got 3 Phoenix and 3 Cerberus. Definitely one of the things that could use some work is the extra deck here, but I mean, it really doesn't. Like I said, you go into it one every 30 games. It really doesn't even matter. But let's get to the replays. Also, one final thing. Huge shout out to the Chain Link channel. Very good channel. Does a lot of replays just like this, but a lot more than I do, that's for sure. He tests all types of different decks. Budget decks, non-budget decks, meta decks, things that are upcoming. But yeah, definitely a very, very good YouTuber. Also does a lot of Tenyi content. I know I have a lot of subscribers that love my Tenyi videos, and you'll definitely love his. But yeah, Chain Link channel, it should be on the screen or it should be in the description. Definitely check it out. Alright, for our first replay, we're going to go to as meta of a deck as can be, which is going to be the Salamangreats. It's usually a tough matchup for a lot of decks because they can out-resource most people, and this guy clearly has a very going second build. But we have a very slow deck that doesn't matter, and we play some of the really, really, really good what are they called? Floodgates. Like I said, the Macrocosmos. We're going to set the Ash Blossom because, unfortunately, we drew a decent hand, but this guy seems to know what to do to play against our deck, and he's not really committing a lot to the board, which is pretty smart. We're going to search the Mystic Mine just to scare him. He's going to go into a Hida, which is exactly actually what we want. We lose the Ash Blossom, but it's no big deal. We have the Rivalries in hand. Now we're going to be able to flip that on the Hida, so he can't ever go into Cyberse monsters anymore. And he's going to activate that. We're going to chain immediately the Rivalries and then followed by the Waterfall to search our one monster, and of course we get our token, and then we're going to pop his set card as soon as he sets it because we don't want to deal with that. And that's it. It's a wrap. We're going to search our grip to get our monster easily. It doesn't matter what he adds back to hand. His hand is amazing too. Just if we had not won this turn, we would have definitely gotten destroyed the following turn. So yeah, like that just let us OTK. As you saw there, our brand new card, the Celestial, the Waterfall, is going to allow us to OTK. Well, not really OTK, but it'll let us give us a lot of firepower to finish off our opponent there. But yeah, definitely an amazing card. As you can see in that quick replay there, it was really telling against the Salamangreat player. Alright, for our next replay, we're going to be playing against True Dracos. This is another deck that a lot of people say is basically unwinnable. But as long as you have Sea Stealth Attack, it is a very winnable matchup. If you know how to chain and how to play around all of the activations of True Dracos, you'll be fine. Because Sea Stealth Attack just wrecks True Dracos. Right here, we're going to search, and we're going to activate the Sea Stealth. We're not going to activate, obviously, the card in hand. But as you can see here, I'm going to pause real quick. When he activates the True Draco Heritage, we're going to activate our face-up ignition effect of the Sea Stealth Attack to banish our token. And what's great is the Phantasm Spiral Field Spell doesn't actually activate in the same chain. So it'll activate in the following chain, which means that in one felt swoop, we're going to pop his barrier statue with our battle, and then we're going to be able to, after everything resolves, because he activated True Draco Heritage, we're going to be able to resolve and special summon a field spell. So we basically effectively played completely around the barrier statue, and we're going to be able to special summon in the exact same chain that this existed. But you're going to see this a lot in the replays. Anytime you have Sea Stealth Attack and your opponent activates anything, you just banish your token, and then when everything resolves, it doesn't matter what they activated, you just special summon the token back, and then you get to search again. It's like the most free plus thing you've ever seen. But there you go. We're going to summon the token. I know obviously they have diagram at 1, but this guy had it, so I guess it's like playing it at 3. So going to summon the Dino Mist, and it's going to be destroyed automatically because of Sea Stealth Attack, because any water monster at level 5 or higher basically lets us win. He's going to activate the Rivalry. We're going to chain the Sea Stealth and basically get a free token and a free search. And honestly, the Rivalry does absolutely nothing against this. It's if anything, it hurts him. He's going to summon Barrier. We're going to just negate the effects, and then we're going to pop the Barrier statue. And that way, since we negated the effects there, we're going to be able to... We negated the effects of the Barrier statue, which is going to allow us to summon another token, even though the Barrier statue is up. And obviously, he's not going to do much with the Barrier statue, and we're just going to probably win. And there he goes. He scoops anyway. Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. We banished that. As you saw there, we basically just banished the... we negated that, and then we were able to basically summon another free token. And this guy saw the writing on the wall and knew it was the end. Alright, here we've got another one. We're playing against Zombie World, which is actually one of my favorite decks in general. And this time we're playing against them. They draw basically all the outs. We Macrocosmos their Unizombie, but they have the Twin Twisters, destroys our field spell and our Macrocosmos. But I have a feeling we're going to survive. It's going to be okay. Zombies have I don't want to say they can't OTK, but they have a little bit of trouble OTKing, especially like on their first board. But he's going to summon the Dew King back. He's going to draw a card. He's going to have super advantage. We're going to activate the Spell Mining Cave. Now, Spell Mining Cave, again, I don't like to stall with it, so I'll just play with it until I have a reasonable amount of resources. I'm not here to deck anybody out. That's not any way to have fun. So we're just going to wait till their end phase. We're basically going to have Spell Mining Cave up for one single turn, and then we're going to have the Phantasm. We're going to normal summon the Mystery Shell. We're going to search. We're going to definitely negate his fists because we cannot let that Rivalry go through if Zombie World is on the field. He's going to Super Poly us as soon as we equip the Grip, which is going to suck. But we're going to get a free token because he activated a card. And then, of course, the Sea Stealth is on board, so we're all good. All right, now here, during his draw phase, like right he was at draw phase, I immediately chained the Sea Stealth to banish the token, because I knew for a fact that the Doom King was going to have to activate during the standby phase, and obviously no zombie player in their right mind is not going to activate Doom King. So I knew he was going to activate, and I knew I was going to get a token. And zombies actually have trouble outing the token plus the Sea Stealth attack. And even with Twin Twisters, it's very difficult once you once you have Sea Stealth in the token to out it. So I knew once I had that little combo ready to go, obviously we're going to get that, we're going to search, and we're going to basically watch this man try to come up with some way to get rid of the monster, but he tries to banish it with Doom King, it just comes back. He's changing my levels, which doesn't really matter. He summons all these monsters, makes Red Eye Zombie Dragon, summons Jacko Boolin, and regardless, things are just going to keep getting destroyed. He sees the writing on the wall, he just kind of scoops it up. Alright, our next replay here is going to be against Anti-Meta. Now, always something that's happened is the Phantasm Spirals have a great matchup against Anti-Meta, like a really, really good matchup against Anti-Meta. They always destroy Anti-Meta because they can just out-resource them and they can pop cards from the hands. They're really good. Here he's going to activate the equip spell. He's going to target that. I'm going to target the battle. And then at the end I'm going to negate everything with the Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. I'm going to activate my face down card, which I should have activated during his end phase, but I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to be able to, since he activated the Solemn Warning, summon the Phantasm token, because again, it activates in a new chain. It doesn't chain to the warning, so you can activate no problem. And then we're going to set the Celestial. It's going to activate another Pot of Extravagance that's like, what is that, like 2 in 2 turns? It's crazy. Summon the Mystery Shell Dragon. We'll be able to search again. On his end phase, we're going to target his There Can Only Be One, which actually does wreck our deck. And his, obviously, set of monsters is going to be Fossil Dino. He's going to activate another There Can Only Be One. We're going to search a free Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi with the Dragon Cycle, which is a really, really awesome thing to do, basically every turn. And he's going to summon Inspector Border. We're tied in attack, but he can't risk losing his monster, so he's not going to crash. I'm going to search another counter trap, drop his attack by 1,000, and wreck him right there. He does absolutely nothing against us in terms of his effects. We have everything we need. We have Skill Drain, Rivalry, another negate. I mean, it's kind of crazy now. We're going to clash, and it doesn't matter because I know he needs to activate something to get monsters on board. I'm going to get another token, so it doesn't even matter. I don't worry about losing monsters. He's going to do that. I'm going to summon a token. He's going to see the writing on the wall. He's going to scoop. He has the Jowgen, which is not going to do much. Like, yeah, we can't special summon, but I'm very easily going to have negate, and he probably knows that. Now, believe it or not, we actually do go into game 2 with this anti-meta guy. I didn't actually build a side deck, so it just said, you want to duel again? And I said yes, and then it let us side deck. But yeah, this guy's side deck is like built to beat me. It's like Red Royal Decree, Red Reboot. Like, look at this stuff. But yeah, we have actually a pretty decent hand going first, and let's let it roll in this game. Obviously, Pot of Desires. I'm not Pot of Extravagance, hoping for the best. We just kind of have a weird hand. It's like decent. He's going to summon the Inspector Border. He's going to attack us. Forbidden Lance. We're going to try to negate it. He's going to Red Reboot us. Now, Red Reboot is not the greatest choice. We both have slow decks. We're both going to take a while, and we both have trap-based decks. But obviously, he has the Royal Decree, so he thinks the end is near. He's going to activate the Royal Decree. I'm going to chain Metaverse immediately because I want to get something on the field, probably the Mystic Mine. And then I activate Mystic Mine, totally forgetting that I would be able to activate the effect of the Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi in the graveyard, which whenever it gets destroyed, I get to special summon a non-effect monster from my extra deck. I forgot this even went off. And then this goes off, I get to summon a Blue Eyes Ultimate, and again, I don't think he has a card that can get over a Blue Eyes Ultimate in his main deck unless he like sets a Fossil Dino, so I think he just scoops it up, lets it fly. Alright, our last replay is going to be against the what's it called deck? The Sky Striker deck. Still a strong deck. Don't let anybody fool you. It's still a very good deck, very powerful. They open a pretty decent hand too, and obviously they choose to go first. We open a good hand, but a lot of duplicates. We're going to activate the Pacifis, and then we're going to activate the Macrocosmos as soon as he activates the Area 0. That'll allow us to summon a token immediately, which is going to be good. And as we go forward here, we're going to tribute immediately the Dragon Cycle, because we're going to activate Dragon Cycle and tribute the token immediately, because I know he's going to activate more stuff anyway. So I know I'm going to get a token back no matter what. He's going to activate There Can Only Be One. I'm going to get rid of the token for now. He's going to commit all these resources to summon a Nightmare Phoenix to get rid of the Macrocosmos, because obviously that's a huge problem. We're going to activate another Pot of Extravagance, attach the Grip, and then pop his There Can Only Be One, and then just kind of blast him. He's going to go Reinforcements. We definitely want to Ash that, and he's going to try to get rid of the Ash, and we're going to get rid of our Dragon and search another monster. That way we have turns going forward. And we have, of course, the token coming, and then another free search. He's going to activate right here the multi-roll, which I think he hard drew, and we're going to definitely have to pop that with the Phantasm Spiral battle, because we can't let him go through all those resources. Then we're going to activate Metaverse, because I see that he's getting extremely low on resources, and I already have my Phantasm Spiral token, and I've gone through the majority of my battles, so the Phantasm Spiral field spell is actually not that useful right now, and we'll see what I do here. I'm going to activate the Flawless Tenyi, which is going to allow us to, if he special summons at any time, it'll allow us to basically draw 2 cards. So that turn I had to make sure that he basically had 1 card in hand, so if that was in any way a Sky Striker monster, we would just be able to, he would summon that, special summon, and then we'd be able to draw 2 cards, and we'd definitely win in card advantage without a doubt. So I was just kind of like finalizing a win there. But yeah, from here on in, it's basically a wrap. We're going to banish the Celestial Illusions, search our counter trap. We have Sea Stealth Attack. We have a Pacifist. We have everything we need. We're going to OTK. We're going to summon Mystery Shell. We're going to attack with our Phantasm Spiral token. And this guy's going to proceed to, he's going to try to do something. He's going to target his own card. We're going to negate it. And that's it. He has just 1 field spell. He's going to activate it. And he's going to take this, I guess just take this loss. But yeah, that's it. That is the deck. I think it is a lot better. We'll just have a quick discussion. The deck is a lot better with the Dragon Cycle, like significantly better. It makes the deck a lot more consistent. It lets you summon monsters during your opponent's turn. It lets you dodge things. It lets you get rid of your token whenever you need to. It lets you summon another one. I mean, the card actually fixes the deck a lot. It gives you access and searchability to a counter trap. It definitely does a lot, but more importantly, if you guys like this sort of video, let me know in the comments. If there's anything I could change, please let me know. I'm very new to this kind of video. It's definitely something that I wanted to try. I don't know if I'll be doing it going forward, but it's definitely something interesting. But anyways, thank you for watching, and subscribe if you enjoyed it.